Hey guys, Jenny here from I'd Lather Be Soaping. I'm going to try something new today. If you've been following my videos for a while, you know that I usually use captions instead of talking. And I tend to shy away from talking in my videos because I tend to start babbling, kind of like I'm doing right now. So I'll try to keep that to a minimum, unless you guys find it charming, which you probably won't. So today I'm going to do a mantra swirl. And this was popular a few months ago, and I'm just now getting around to trying it. But I got some new toys too, so I'm really excited to give it a try. I got these nifty dividers from GreatSoapShop on Etsy.com, and they're designed to fit the Essential Depot silicone mold perfectly. And I'll put links to all of this in the video description and in my blog post. And for the scent, I'm going to use Brambleberry's new Heavenly Honeysuckle. And this was one of the soap panel fragrances, and it's really good. So let's get suited up for safety and get going. Alright, well I'm going to start by combining my oils. And you may notice I'm not wearing gloves. That's because I haven't broken out the lye yet. But when I do start messing with the lye, I will put on gloves. So in here, I've got my olive oil. And I'm using that at 25% of the total oil weight. Now I'm going to add, let's see, we got coconut oil here, and that's also at 25%. And I went ahead and heated each of these oils briefly in the microwave in like 30-45-second bursts, just to get them a little warmed up, somewhere around 120-125 degrees. Here's some rice bran oil, and I'm using that at 30%. Here I've got some mango butter. Now I'm just going to let the warm oils mostly melt this down. And if I need to melt it a little bit more, I can pop it in the microwave for a few seconds. Next is some sweet almond oil, and I'm using it at 5%, and I think I forgot to mention the mango butter was at 12%. And finally some castor oil at 3%. Give it more bubbly lather. Alright, give that all a stir. And you can see there's still a little bit of unmelted mango butter. That's okay, I'm just going to let it hang out and finish melting while I get the lye water ready. Alright, I got my gloves, my goggles, and a little face mask on for this part. So I'm going to add my lye flakes to my distilled water. And always add your lye to your water, not the other way around. Add a little bit and just stir. I like to do it in a dish pan. That way if I spill anything, at least it's contained. Add a little bit more. And I keep my distilled water chilled in the fridge too. Kind of helps keep the temperature from getting too high. The higher the temperature it gets, the longer it takes to cool down. Here's the last of it. And I've got another dish pan full of water and distilled vinegar. That way I can put stuff like this directly into it. I don't have to worry about it. This down faster, I'm going to stir it in an ice bath here. It's at 159. Probably take 15 minutes or so of stirring to get it down to the, I usually like to be in the 100 to 110 range. Okay, well here are my oils. I let them hang out while I was getting the lye water ready. And I stirred the lye water in the ice bath for about 15 minutes, I guess, and that brought it down to about 107 degrees. As you can see, all the mango butter is melted now. Let's do a temp check on here. 103. So my oils are 103 degrees, my lye water is about 107 degrees, and it usually works out pretty good. If I get the oils up to about 120, 125, let them hang out while I get the lye water ready, and then they're pretty close to each other temperature-wise by the time I'm ready to combine them. I'm using this new fragrance oil from Brambleberry. It's called Heavenly Honeysuckle, and I had a chance to try this one out when I was on the soap panel this last spring. So this one is really good, and this is 2 ounces, so I'm just going to add the whole thing in because I have about 3 pounds of oils here, so that'll work out about right. And I like to add my fragrance oil straight to my cooled oils before I add the lye solution, because that way I won't forget it, number one. And you know, some people add the fragrance oil at trace, others add it to the base oils. Either way is fine. I just like to do it this way. I'm going to add some sodium lactate straight to my lye water. And sodium lactate is a salt that comes from the fermentation of the sugars of corns and beets. At least that's where this one comes from, according to Brambleberry's website. And it helps give you a harder bar. I'm going to add about 1.5% of my oil weight, so about 1.5 tablespoons. There's one. And about half. Alright, had a brief safety fail there. I took my gloves off to rearrange my camera and forgot to put them back on. But they're back on now. They're off for only a few seconds. Okay, so at this point I just did a temperature check. My lye is at about 101 degrees and my oils are at about 103, so they're really close. And I like being in that temperature range of 100 to 110 degrees. So now I'm just going to pour my lye water into my oils. You see it's getting cloudy already. So now I'm going to use a stick blender to bring it to trace, and I'll alternate with the whisk to give the stick blender a break every once in a while. Burp it, bang it on the bottom a little bit. Alright, here we go. I like to scrape the sides every now and then too to make sure that everything's incorporated well. Alright, that's starting to thicken up on me now. I don't want to get it too thick, so I'm going to need some to put into a squeeze bottle here. Okay, I'm going to start coloring it now. And I've prepped a couple of big bowls and a little bowl with some colorant and liquid glycerin to help get rid of any clumps. And this is a hydrated green chrome. It's kind of a bright green color. I need about 1/2 cup or so of this for my squeeze bottle. And here's a squeeze bottle. I found it in the candy making aisle of my craft store. Just make sure that you snip the tip so that you have a larger opening there, because otherwise you'll never get the soap out. It won't flow as easily. So I'm just going to pour this in here and hope it doesn't set up too much more. Alright, put that aside. Now I'm going to divide the rest of the soap batter up between these two bowls. Just half and half. I'm going to eyeball it as best as I can. Starting to get pretty thick though. That's alright. I think we'll be okay. This is a nice bright yellow. Give this a shake every once in a while to keep it loose. This is a nice bright tangerine color. This is the Tangerine Wow, and the other one is the Fizzy Lemonade. Both neon colorants. Alright, here's my mold. I got the basket and the silicone liner from Essential Depot, and the plastic inserts, the dividers here, from GreatSoapShop on Etsy.com, and I'll include links to all of that. But this makes the mantra swirl and a lot of other projects a lot easier, because I haven't tried the mantra swirl because, I thought, oh gosh, you have to do all this stuff with the cardboard, and you have to build yourself dividers and anchor them and all that stuff, and I'm just not very handy and just put it off and put it off. But now I don't have an excuse to not try it. Okay, we're going to see how well this works. I'm going to try to pour both at the same time. And my soap is pretty thick here, so we'll see how this goes. I think it's still pourable though. Alright, I'm just gonna help the rest of this along. So the soap got pretty thick, so I'm not going to have perfectly smooth tops. But let me see if I can pull out this divider. Hope those two sides adhere together. Pull these out too. I'm worried about those two halves not coming together. Some shakes, try to encourage them to get together here. It's still moving around a little bit. Hopefully I can get my swirl done. Let's see what we can do here. My line might be a little large and a little thick. I'm just going to use the stick of a thermometer here, and the idea is to make a figure 8 pattern like this. So put that down to the bottom, and then do a figure 8 there, figure 8 there, figure 8 all the way across. Trying to keep this on the bottom as close as I can. That still looks pretty cool, even if the soap did get a little thicker than I anticipated. I'm going to try to clean up the mold here a little bit. Alright guys, I'm going to insulate this, let it sit for the next 24 hours, and when we cut it we'll see what we've got. Alright, so here it is, and I've been letting this sit for about a week. It was kind of soft when I unmolded it, so I gave it some time to kind of dry out and get a little harder before I cut it. And I'm hoping I won't have air bubbles inside when I cut it. And I'm going to use a different mold, my wooden log mold, to cut it because it's got some built-in cutter guides here. Helps me make more even bars. Cut off the end piece. Looks pretty good. Soap got pretty thick on me, but I think it still turned out pretty nice. And pretty smooth too. Don't see any air pockets so far. So overall I'm pleased with these. I just did a modified with, the 2 colors side by side and 1 on top, and I like the swirl on top. I think next time I would like to try it with 3 colors side by side and do the swirl that way so that there's more going on in the middle of the bar. And I thought about cutting them horizontally to show off more of the swirl on top, but then I would have some bars with not much going on, no swirls, and it would just be 2 colors side by side. So I went ahead and cut it the traditional way so that each bar has some of the swirl on top. Alright guys, that's it. Thanks for watching.